Hey y'all, this is Watermelon Slim from Oklahoma City. If you really want to hear the blues, tune in to Nothing But the Blues with my friend Cliff. See you later.
Well, I'm a long life skinner, ain't got no regrets, ain't no reason to get down in the mouth. Cause it's never a long, long way to dinner, rolling 40 straight across the south. Keep it in your own lane, thank you, matey. I'm heading for OKC. I got a little bit of rain on my glasses, I slide through Memphis. I got 3 big old empty asphalt lanes stretching out in front of me. Pedal to the metal and I'm watching the lights blinking on in Arkansas. But there's no one on my front door and I'm using my brights. Got one ear out for the law. I got a half-gallon Rubbermaid thermos jug, a black trip straight caffeine. And when I hit that Oklahoma line in Roland, I'll be waving my hat at the greatest country this old driver's ever seen. Hey! At the 140 for a couple of hours shut eye. Fill my tanks up with diesel and I'm good to go. Then watch this old Peter fly. In a couple more hours in that going home gear, straight to the Texas line. Thunder roll through Amarillo and Albuquerque. And if you stand in that hammer breakdown lane, you can hear Smoky Bear at your 264. I appreciate that, driver. We're headed for California. Hammer down. Hear that Caterpillar whine. Where's old Tarzan tonight?
Can I ask a trucking question?
Yeah.
The first track, Caterpillar Wine.
Yeah.
What's the Caterpillar? Because I think of a Caterpillar as like a tank track or something.
No, a Caterpillar, or my reference is indeed the Caterpillar Tractor Company is a corporation.
Right.
But the Cat engine is one of the most popular of large diesel engines that goes in trucks.
Okay.
Especially trucks like this. This truck certainly had a cat in it. This is a Kenworth truck. This truck in here, this truck has a big Peterbilt. They call it a large condo, great big sleeper here, and it's got a cat engine in it.
Right.
About 550 horsepower. Haul anything you want. Pull a freaking tree down if you want it to.
That makes sense of the song now, then. I mean.
Yeah, and the Caterpillar whine, as you've heard, that was a master stroke by Miles. He actually went out and stood by the side of a major highway and recorded about 20-some various trucks going by. At first mixed some together to make the sound, and then eventually chose one of the trucks going uphill, accelerator down, hammer down.
Right.
And that's why it's the Caterpillar whine.
Okay.
The whine itself is the supercharger that's running.
Well, welcome to Nothing But the Blues with me, Cliff, and it's a very special edition. It's the Watermelon Slim special that I mentioned a few weeks ago. I interviewed Slim when he headlined the Cambridge Festival at the beginning of August, and because I went on holiday, it's taken me a while to put the show together. So this week's show features clips from the interview, plus tracks from his albums, including his new one, Escape from the Chicken Coop, which was launched just after the festival. And that opening track there was Caterpillar Wine, and on the new album, and you heard Slim explaining what the cat was to me. Let's get back to the interview. Bit of your past I'd like to touch on, but mostly I'd like to talk about the music, if that's okay.
Oh, get after it.
Yeah, okay. You went to college on a fencing scholarship? Yeah?
No.
Is that a
journalistic? That's a new one, by the way.
Oh, really?
That's a new urban journalistic myth. I was indeed a fencer. I was quite a good fencer. I was tall and spindly and awkward, but lightning fast. And I did go to the national championships in 1968.
Is it another journalistic myth that you dropped out to enlist for Vietnam?
No, that I did.
That you did. Pretty idealistic thing to do at the time when most of your peers were...
No. I mean, it was idealistic in a way. But there were two other reasons why I dropped out of college and joined the Army and volunteered. First of all, there was family history. My family has, not to mince words about it, an illustrious military history. Both grandfathers were veterans, one of World War I and the other one of the Spanish-American War, artillery behind Teddy Roosevelt at San Juan Hill.
Amazing. Okay.
My father was the most illustrious of all. And if you go to the Royal Naval College in Greenwich, and you go into Painted Hall from the north side, and you go up the stairs and you turn left, you will see a white marble monument to 20, or I understand a couple more have been added since then, maybe 21, 22 young men who left the United States before the U.S. entered the war and went and joined the Royal Navy. My father was in convoy escort in the North Sea.
Wow.
With the Royal Navy.
Wow. Amazing.
He was a little aggravated when he came back to the U.S. Once we got in the war and got sent to the Pacific. They made him an ensign again. Although he was a lieutenant junior grade by the time he went back. And so he was my father's greatest distinction was that he received a high Royal Naval decoration for diving into the sea and saving a Nazi pilot.
Oh, really?
Who had crashed.
Right.
and as his biographer notes, probably most of the British sailors he was serving with would just as soon have let the Nazi drown.
Mm.
But my father saved him, which was very much like my father anyway.
Amazing.
So the other reason, besides family history, that I had to join and volunteer for the war was that I was a stupid, naive kid and did it out of emotional, naive patriotism. And I found out very soon that I really wasn't cut out for military life.
Mm.
I did not finish a full tour of enlistment with the Army. I was honorably discharged, that's all I will claim.
Okay.
I didn't so much as receive a good conduct medal in addition.
But given the family history, I can see what you mean by big shoes to fill.
Yes, precisely.
Yeah.
You have hit it. That is exact. That's very insightful. Not everybody understands why that record is named what it is, but it is dedicated to my father, whose gigantic shoes I could never fill, no matter how many handy awards or whatever I did.
Mm-hmm.
I could never fill the shoes of a truly great man like my father, who was one of the greatest attorneys any country, any venue of the 20th century.
It was really fascinating chatting to Slim. We spent about pushing on for 2 hours just chatting, and I've had to edit it down fairly strongly for the show. But I also want to get some music in. And this is a track from the 2006 album Watermelon Slim and the Workers. This is Dumpster Blues.
I got me an oversized dumpster, front to back and rail to rail. I got me a great big oversized dumpster, front to back and rail to rail. And if Sergeant Cartwright saw me with it, he'd throw me underneath the jail. Yeah, I'm taking it on down the back road, don't wanna meet no state patrol. Taking this load on down the back road, don't wanna meet no state patrol. Yeah, this spots my tires real good, but when I snatch this box, watch me roll. Man, it nips up my front end. I'm grossing 70,000 pounds. Yeah, it jerks up my front end. Oh, but my 20-ton winch, boys, it's a dumpster operator's friend. You know my load is rotten. Smells just like the devil's bottom hole. Oh, that load is rotten. Smells just like the devil's bottom hole. Yeah, but I gotta drop it off at the landfill to save my dispatcher's soul. I don't know when. I'm smelling dirty. Ain't been as bad since I don't know when. But when I'm making this box is empty, way back up to the side again.
Dumpster No, Dumpster Blues from the 2006 album Watermelon Slim and the Workers. Well, I got to asking Slim about his health. The big turning point, if you like, was the heart attack in 2002?
Wasn't a turning point at all. No, I'd say the turning point was probably after the heart attack when, since you mentioned the heart attack, what that did, I had already recorded the Big Shoes to Fill sessions with Mr. Snowball Brown producing that I've just talked about.
Right.
I had him come down to Oklahoma to produce this stuff. He hated being in Oklahoma, of course. It was entirely too hot for him. He's really a New Englandite. But all that the heart attack did was focus me a little bit more.
Right.
I'd already had a stroke in 1998, which came out all right.
Mm-hmm.
I had already broken my back, as it turns out, in 1995. As a truck driver, I fell 13 foot off a load, and I never saw a doctor. I just picked myself up off the ground once I had determined that I was not paralyzed, and I eventually got back up in the truck and I drove the load home, and then I drove it to the siding the next day, and I never missed a day of work. And I found out last year, while I was recording the record we're going to talk about, that I had 3 compressed vertebrae in my thoracic area of my back, and the chiropractor told me, well, you may be 60 years old or 59 at the time, but you've got the spine of a man in his 70s. We can never rehabilitate you because you let it go for so long.
Mm.
But with regular chiropractic care, we can keep you mobile and mostly pain-free, which is what I am right now. I'm mobile and mostly pain-free.
He's lucky to be alive, isn't he? I'm glad he is. Let's have some more music. This is the title track from the 2007 album. This is The Wheelman.
When I was a youngster, I could press my weight, didn't fear a man on the planet. No great battle suits threatening nuclear war, or mobsters with the faces of granite. life of scuffling crime was a chain I could never break. The games I was playing, you know they was paying, but anyone can make a mistake. I was never yellow, just too good-hearted to spend my whole life outside the law. But there was one thing I carried from the underworld. I'm the best that you ever saw. I'm still the wheel man. I'm the wheel man. If you want me to play, I'll still pick up my axe, but I'm doing my best when I'm making tracks. I'm the wheel man. I'm the wheel man. If you want me to swing, I'll still strut my stuff, but I do my best work when the road gets rough. I'm the wheel man. I'm a wheel man too. Oh, I'm the wheel man. And you know that, mate. I'm the wheel man. Oh, I'm the wheel man. I'm a wheel man too, can't you see? I'm the wheel man. And you know that. Oh, boys, I'm the wheel man. Tell it like it is, right? I'm the wheel man. Oh, I'm the wheel man.
The Wheelman, featuring Magic Slim. Back to the interview, I think. I think I first started taking notice of your stuff in any serious way with that one.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. As I said, the heart attack only focused me. After I did Big Shoes to Fill, then I released Up Close and Personal, some of which Stovall Brown also produced at those same sessions, and that's where I met Chris Hardwick. I was getting around to where the turning point was. Mr. Chris Hardwick, my manager, met me through a college station DJ and supporter of the blues, and Chris produced the rest of Up Close and Personal and took me off to Memphis for the International Blues Challenge, where I did not win. Me and my group did not win, but we made enough of an impression that Fred Litwin, the president of Northern Blues Music in Ottawa, decided to sign me. And the first record that Northern Blues put out was this record, which you brought out here. Mm-hmm.
And you've done pretty much one a year since then, yeah?
Pretty much. Exactly. You've got them all, don't you? Look at that.
Yeah, full set. You write most of the songs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you obviously find writing easy?
Well, as I pointed out, I designed the curriculum from the time that I went back to school seriously in 1984 through my graduation and hooding in 2000, with lots of truck driving and grunt labor in between. I designed that curriculum in order to make me a writer, truly a writer. I'd always, been a writer of sorts, but now I'm actually a trained writer.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, I find it easy.
You find it easy?
I sit down and I can whack you out a sonnet. You heard what I did downstairs. I just started speaking iambic pentameter.
Right.
I can whack as what's his name said about Shakespeare. You know, this fear shaker can blast out a bunch of blank verse as good as anybody. I paraphrase liberally.
Stick a slide guitar on and you've got a song.
Oh, I don't even need the instrument. I do my usual process, though sometimes it goes the other way around, is to write the words and then put the music with the.
Who decides the cover versions that you do? Is it the producer says try this, or you do? Okay.
I do. One nice thing about Northern Blues is that I've been given all of the artistic head that I want to have. I have.
Okay, so you choose Fred McDowell and Big Joe Williams and things like that, yeah?
Yeah, well, I choose all that stuff.
Yeah, and Laura Nyro?
Yeah.
That's that
Well,
one kind of
I've been singing that song since before I was in Vietnam.
right. And you do it almost a cappella. You use the harmonica on that one.
I did that one
Yeah.
merely with the harmonica. So yeah, I choose all that stuff.
Okay. This is that Laura Nyro cover. It's from the 2008 album No Paid Holidays and When I Die.
I'm not scared of dying, and I don't really care if it's petrifying and dying. Well, then let the time be near. If it's petrifying and dying, and if dying time is near, just bundle up my coffin, 'cause it's cold way down there. You know it's cold way down there, crazy cold way down there. And when I die and when I'm gone, there'll be one more child in this world to carry on, to carry on. Now troubles are many and they're deep as a well. I would swear there ain't no heaven, and I pray there ain't no hell. Swear there ain't no heaven, and I pray there ain't no hell. But I'll never know by living, only my dying will tell. Only my dying will tell. Oh, only my dying will tell. And when I die and when I'm gone, there'll be one more child in this world to carry on, to carry on. Give me my freedom for as long as I breathe. All I ask of living is to have no chains on me. All I ask of living is to have no chains on me. And all I ask of dying is to go naturally. All I want to do is go naturally. Well, here I go. Hey, hey. Here comes the devil. Right behind. Look out, children. Here he comes. Here he comes. Hey, hey. Don't want to go by the devil. Don't want to go by the demon. Don't want to go by Satan. I don't want to die uneasy. Just let me go naturally. And when I die, and when I'm dead and gone, there'll be one more child to carry on.
and When I Die from No Paid Holidays. I asked Slim about a couple of the other tracks on that album. There's a funny mix of stuff, I think, especially on this one. There's a track I really, really like, Max the Baseball Clown.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's fabulous, I think, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did he exist?
Yes.
Okay.
Max Patkin
Right.
was exactly what I have said. The clown prince of baseball.
Right.
Some people will say it was Al Schacht, but Al Schacht only performed in major league parks, and he only, in his career, only, it was dwarfed by Max Patkin's career. Max was baseball clowning from the 1930s all the way through the 80s. He clowned for 60-some years in nothing but minor league ballparks around the United States and Canada.
Yeah.
And I was fortunate enough to see him twice. He came to our ballpark in Asheville, North Carolina twice.
Brilliant.
And he was an incredibly talented fellow. I think the very most talented thing, knowing baseball as I do, the very most talented thing that I ever saw him do, he had this air gun, a compressed air gun that would shoot baseballs and shoot them a long, long, long way.
Right.
And he would shoot baseballs up in the air far, far, far beyond any place that a man could hit or throw a baseball, hundreds and hundreds of feet up. And somehow or other, way into the dark, and he always shows at night, way, way, way hundreds of feet past the lights, and somehow he would know where that ball was going to come down, and he had a huge pocket on the back of his clowny pants. He had a baseball clowny pants, and he would look up, and somehow in the world, that ball would come down. He would catch it in his back pocket.
Amazing.
I've never seen anything like it. I've never heard of anybody doing anything like that. Statistically speaking, the highest anybody has ever hit a baseball was something over 200 feet. I'm quite sure that Max Patkin shot that ball 2 or 3 times higher than that. Because there was a football stadium up the hill from our baseball stadium, and he'd be shooting baseball. He'd demonstrate the thing first. He did it twice, and he shot that baseball way past that football stadium. So it actually had the power to, shoot a baseball half a mile anyway.
The speed it must have been coming down at from that.
Yes, the speed is actually 169 miles an hour. That's terminal velocity of an object in lower atmosphere air. I happen to know that.
I don't fancy standing with my back to something that's coming down that fast.
Yes, well, but he was so completely remarkable. Max Patkin. I know I was lucky to have seen Max the Baseball Clown.
If you could get to be king by making people laugh, Max Patkin would wear the crown. I would giggle till my side was split in half every time that he came around. And the old grandstand would fill up with fans, and the cheers come rolling down for Bob Bailey, Gene Alley, and Willie Stargell, and Max the Baseball Clown. I was just a little boy in North Carolina, 11 years old, I think. Too young to go out raising hell with the girls, and too young to take a drink. But I wasn't too little to watch them go hit a home run in a minor league town, and watch a funny man in old baggy pants, Max the Baseball Clown. If you could get to be king by making people laugh, Max Patkin would wear the crown. I would giggle till my side was split in half every time that he came around. And the old grandstands would fill up with fans and the cheers come rolling down for Bob, Billy Jean, Ellie, and Willie Stargell and Max the baseball clown. Now kids grow up and people get old. The hair goes gray on your head. And it's taken me this many years to ask myself, is he alive or dead? But I wouldn't change a minute of the way that it's been for a second time around. And I know I was lucky to have seen Max the baseball clown. If you could get to be king by making people laugh, Max Patkin would wear the crown. I would giggle till my sides were split in half every time that he came around. And the old grandstand would fill up with fans and the cheers come rolling down for Bob, Bailey, G, Daddy, and Willie Stargell and Max the baseball clown. For Bob, Bailey, Gene, Alley, and Willie Stargell and Max the baseball clown.
But what you then do is follow it up with the Bloody Burmese Blues, which is a kind of complete sort of, having got us all nice and happy with Max, you kind of chop the legs from under us with that sort of thing.
Yes, I will tell you about the Bloody Burmese Blues. September the 27th, 2007, I was sitting in Sydney, Australia, in a hotel. And that was the day that the paper reported the Burmese authorities shooting their Buddhist monks in the Strait. You know, because you've heard the song. Mm-hmm. Well, I started, you know, as a journalist who also is a historian, who also is a musician and a poet. I started writing that song underneath the headline of that Sydney Herald. The first line of that song, we're in this lovely hotel looking down at a war zone, was a quote from two English tourists who were sitting looking at out of a hotel several floors up in Rangoon and watching it happen. And so, you know, if you ask me about the process of my blues writing, you know, part of it is a form of journalism.
Lovely hotel, looking down on a war zone. We're in this lovely hotel, looking down on a war zone. We saw it all breaking down, soldiers and the people they was firing on. What the U.S. press thinks of this. I wonder what the American press will do with this. I wonder if they're even listening, or if they're just doing customary business.
two completely contrasting tracks there from No Paid Holidays. That was the Bloody Burmese Blues, and before that, Max the Baseball Clown. Well, next we got talking about the new album.
Ah, the new record. Let me get it out for you. I will show it to you. You haven't seen it, have you?
I've seen, so Michael McClune sent me some MP3s. So I've
but
heard...
you haven't seen the record itself, have you? Yes, this is called Escape from the Chicken Coop.
Right.
And that is me in a large 18-wheel truck talking on the CB.
Yep.
I'm going to open this for you and show you this the beautiful work that well, you already know what Northern Blues does.
So this is my reading glasses as well.
Right.
Oh,
It just opens and opens and opens,
Yeah.
on and on and on and on. It goes on and on and on and on, like that.
brilliant.
Yeah, it is. They do brilliant work at Northern.
This is the man called Wycroft, is this who does
Yeah,
it?
the man called Rycraft. Yes.
Yeah. Lovely.
And as you will see, I have one song on here. Well, I have two that reference England, but one in particular references England because it was the story of an incident that occurred in Nottingham last year.
That was Should Have Done More.
The song is called "Should Have Done More."
Right.
I met a beggar on the street. We were there preparing to do a gig in Nottingham, and there was this beggar, one tooth in his head, no meat on his bones, begging. "Hello, sir, can you spare something for me, please?" The beggar's faded, patient voice began. "I was only in town for half a day and I declined." And he greeted another stranger with the same refrain. Well, as it turned out, the man had a wound that had to be practically gangrenous down to the bone. You could see the bone on his leg. And my response should have been, when I saw this, to say, "Fellas, the gig can wait. If I'm late, too bad, but I've got to get a cab and take this man to a hospital and turn him over to the English National Health System because his life's in danger." And it was about an hour and a half before we were supposed to, stage time.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't do it.
Right.
Because I thought, especially with Mr. Newberry there, I thought, well, they're all going to bitch at me for a lack of professionalism if I don't just be at the gig.
Mm-hmm.
But I should have done more. I could have done more. I should have reached out to my brother in his time of need. That's what I should have done in Nottingham.
He was hobbling along on the streets of Nottingham one sparkling English midsummer day. One tooth in his head, no meat on his bones. In the unforgiving flow of life, he was swept away. "Hello, sir, can you spare something for me, please?" The beggar's patient, plaintive voice began. "I was only in town for half a day and I declined." And he greeted another stranger with the same refrain. "I should have done more, could have done more. I should have reached out to myself, if I feed every homeless wanderer, I'll have nothing for myself one of these days. I watched him cross the street, hopping like a bird with a broken wing. Now I wish that I had helped him on his way. I should have done more, I could have done more. I should have reached out to my brother in his time of need. I could have done more, I should have done more. I know he would have done the same for me. And he had a friend on the streets of Nottingham. They embraced, and I could see he was happy then. But he lifted up his pants leg, showed a wound down to the bone. And I knew my chance to help wouldn't come again. I should have done more, I could have done more. My brother in his time of need. I could have done more, I could have done more. 'Cause I know he would have done the same for me. 'Cause I know he would have done the same for me.
You dedicated the album to Dave Dudley.
Yes.
Yeah, 6 days on the road.
And I'm going to make it home tonight.
Absolutely. Yeah. I always thought he wrote that, but when I did some looking up,
No, he didn't write it. He wrote some of his songs, but as I've come to understand, is very traditional and almost expected in Nashville. He had co-writers and other people writing for him. At first I balked about writing anything with Gary Nicholson or anybody else. Hell, I'm a trained writer. I can write songs better than anybody I know. I'm saying to myself, but they expect this. They expect people to come in and submit to the process. So I'm going back and writing a couple more in September with Gary Nicholson.
Down in the reception when you started talking, it put me in mind of Friends on the Porch, which you do as a monologue, yeah? Why didn't you put music to it? I mean...
Oh, I've got music that could go to it.
Right.
But Chris Hardwick and Fred Litwin both said, why don't you just recite that one? Which is another, unheard of technique on a country and western record. Nobody just reads poetry on it. So
No.
not even when it's real autobiographical poetry. That's a real experience that occurred in about the year 2001. And I was sitting on this porch looking west with another band I was playing with called Another Roadside Attraction, a rock and roll band, kind of a large alternative rock band that of which I was old enough to be the father of everybody in it.
Uh-huh.
I was the utility musician. I played a lot of harp, played quite a lot of tambourine and percussion, sang some backup, played guitar on one or two, you know, I just fill in cracks. But I had a certain cachet that all the 20-somethings that were in the band didn't have.
So you did actually see birds flying across? And,
yes,
yeah.
oh yes. So the
whole
song is a piece of journalism that was turned into a recorded vignette. There's a jet plane heading west in an evening sky, and two birds circling in a falling sun. There's folks on the front porch just getting by and talking about the music we once have done. And the jet plane's going, and the people in there don't care what's down below. And these birds keep flying, no thought of crying, silhouetted in the sunset glow. And I look at the contrail, the birds and the grass and the front porch I'm sitting on. My friends and I know that we can't fly, and we'll be here when they're all gone. But there's horses for courses and a time for everything, and I know that applies to me. And I'll wait for my plane, and someday I might even grow wings. You can wait and see. And the sun's all gone down now, and the plane's out of sight. The birds have gone home to their nest, and I'm still on the front porch, my buddies and I. And I guess that's the place that's the best. For the sky can get lonely, and sometimes it gets cold. And at night you can sure lose your bearings. But right here I have found a quiet place on the ground. Makes me sure that friends are for sharing. Friends on the Porch from Escape from the Chicken Coop. And before that, the Should Have Done More, the song about the beggar he met in Nottingham. Terrific stuff. Well, I asked him about a song on the new album called 300 Miles. Back to the album. 300 Miles. Yeah. My favourite song on the album, by the way. Yeah, Fred says you were in tears at the end of it or something? The song is about doing the job, but it's also about getting too old to do the job anymore. I know I can't shake it. I'm just trying to make it the best way I can, though I'm getting up in years. And I had actually, by that point, I'd actually retired from driving when I wrote that song. That song is, I think I wrote that one in 06, so I was a year and a half at least beyond my own commercial driving career. Right. I was still driving a lot of miles, you know, as the workers, 05 through 08, I think I probably drove somewhere between 250 and 300,000 miles. My mama was a Christian. She had good intentions. I know that she wanted the best for her son. But she died and I grew up in my daddy's bull holler. A hard-drinking, hard-driving son of a gun. Down at the fuel stop with the bed bugs and the reapers, drinking
my coffee and waiting till when I'm back on the big road with the low boys and the flatbeds. It's 300 miles before I'll stop again. Got 5 on the low side and 4 on my high side. A little silver bulldog is leading the way. I might be a bobtail, but I'm loaded like a big truck. 300 more miles before I'll rest today. St. Paul, Minneapolis, Missoula, Montana, and on to Spokane. I got my pedal to the metal, hammer down and highballing. I'm strapped to these wheels, more machine than a man. And I'm rolling down to Perry with my front end a bumping, pulling in the terminal and dropping down gears. I know I can't shake it, I'm just trying to make it the best way I can, though I'm getting up in years. Down at the fuel stop with the bedbugs and the reefers, drinking my coffee and waiting till when I'm back on the big road with the low boys and the flatbeds. It's 300 miles before I'll rest again. 300 more miles till I'll rest again.
300 miles from Escape from the Chicken Coop. Well, this has been Nothing But the Blues with me, Cliff, and the website is www.nothingbutttheblues.co.uk. There you'll find the playlist with links to artists and links to the previous shows. And you can email me, cliff@nothingbutttheblues.co.uk. And I hope you've enjoyed this Slim special. I had a whale of a time talking to him. He's a fantastic guy, very generous with his time. As I say, we spent about 2 hours just chatting at times about how we'd spilt wine over various things and all sorts of topics that you don't really want to hear on the radio. So I'm going to leave you with another track from the new album. It's another trucking song. It's called 1818 Wheeler, and I'll let Slim have the last word anyway.
Regardless of anything else that I have said, God has blessed me. The Lord be with you and with thy spirit, you betcha. I'm a confirmed Episcopalian, which means Anglican, and I just want to say hi to all the vicars and rectors and curates and everybody in the country of England, and say y'all keep on, you know.
Well, it's a 1818 wheeler. In any other nation, it's the same. We gotta keep them big wheels rolling. In any other language, it's the name. Well, I did my walk around this morning, kicked my tires, shifted gear, and gone. I'm rolling on out of Muskogee, Oklahoma, southbound to San Antonio. In my 1818 wheeler, in any other country it's the same. Gotta keep them big wheels rolling. In any other language, that's the name. Well, I rode down underneath the channel, head from Paris to London town. Them English, they drive on the wrong side of the road, and I don't know how they'll ever get around. In their 1818 wheeler, in any other country it's the same. Gotta keep them big wheels rolling. In any other language, that's the name. Well, in England they call it a lorry. In America they call it a dry van. I don't know what they're calling it down in India, and I can't pronounce what they call it in Japan. But it's an 1818 wheeler. In any other country it's the same. Gotta keep them big wheels rolling. In any other language, that's the name. Well, I'm working coast to coast on them highways, rolling 3,000 miles a week. I got this old Mac in the big hole. If you know what I'm talking about, I don't have to speak. But it's an 1818 wheeler. In any other country, it's the same.